cheapest chronograph. This was $38 shipped with including shipping off of Amazon. It's a I imagine it's a Chinese made chronograph. It's got an on-off switch here. It takes 4 AA batteries in the bottom, but I found you can also hook one of these pocket juice and a USB-C right in here, and that'll power it up. The switch doesn't work then. It could be in either position and it still has power to it. See how it powered up? So what it has is some LEDs up here. These LED light strips. It comes with 5 of these metal rods that screw in above the sensors here. And it comes with an extra light strip and a couple extra screws to put them in. So it's pretty cool. I've tried it just by shooting a rubber band through here and actually measured the speed of the rubber band. That doesn't want to. See, I'm just going to pass my hand over it. It actually measured my hand as 1.2 feet per second. So it's very sensitive. Here's my old shooting chrony, which I'm sure you're familiar with these. They just open up. It's like a clamshell. If I can get it to open. There we go. So shooting chronograph. And you can also put some rods in there. I used wooden dowels in these little holes here. And this does not measure down very low. So if you pass your hand over it, it just comes up with an error. This is powered by a 9-volt battery. I kind of like this better in a way than I did. Pretty close call there, huh? A couple bullets that nicked it. That it, folds up and it goes into your shooting bag pretty easily. This does not fold up. That's just the way it is. What you see right there. But these are about $100, $150, $38. So far, I just tested it with rubber bands and threw a pencil through there, whatever, and it worked great. So when you first power it up, there's some options you got. You can change it from meters per second to feet per second. You can measure the joules if you put in the weight of the bullet. This mode here with the 2 dots is auto mode. If you hit this, when you see the 4 dashes, that's manual mode, and it'll read the bullet or whatever you're shooting, and it'll hold a number up there until you come back and hit the button again. And plug it, and then hit that. It's in feet per second now. And when all those 8s are in there, you can change the dwell time for the reading, basically. It'll display for like, I don't know, half a second. But when you first plug it in, hit that button there, you can up and down this and it'll display the reading longer or shorter based on the up or down. There's a number from like 1 to 28. 28 being the longest dwell time. I'm going to shoot today some 380, some hand loads. So these are 2 different loadings. One's kind of a mid-level load. One is a shorter load, less powder. The LCP Max. See what kind of readings we get. It's in feet per second. There. Alright. I think that paper may be messing it up. So let's take the paper off, because I know, see if I kind of wiggle it there, the paper's throwing errors, so easily. Alright. Nothing. 650. 600. So here we go. This will be the mid-level load. I'm going to expect it to be around 800. Okay, so that's pretty good, 775. And I'm shooting maybe 2 or 3 feet away from the chronograph. Seems to be working pretty good. 850. There. 840. It doesn't seem to be too sensitive to some chronographs. If it's too close, it'll measure that unburned powder that's flying out the front. 30. See, when it does those lines, no measurement. I'm thinking it's the unburned powder maybe flying through there. 800. Okay, I hit a metal plate down there. Alright, so the ones that read was around 800, 850 I think was the highest one. So definitely, I'm thinking a chrony chronograph may have been, this may have been having trouble reading, or maybe I was too close and the flakes of unburned powder was flying through there at 200 feet per second or 300 feet per second. I'm thinking that's probably what it was. That is a little more, this is a little more sensitive to being too close to it. Let's try the chrony chronograph at a further distance and see if I get decent readings off it now. So I think I got that figured out. Okay, one thing I'm gonna notice right away is this has a sensor that's as wide as the distance between these two poles here. This sensor is a little, quite a bit more narrow. It's like half the size. So your bullet placement's a little more sensitive here. And say if you're shooting at an angle, you may not go over that back sensor. But they're both a similar distance. This way between the sensors. I like the chrony that has a 9-volt battery. But this is pretty awesome too. You can power it through the USB. You don't have to fool with batteries at all with that. So I think it does require these lights though. So if you were to shoot these lights, you have to get new lights or something. I don't know, but I don't see a visible light on there. But if you look at these end bulbs, they're kind of lit up like a purple color. So maybe it's infrared. And it's weird because it's powered right through these metal rods to this light strip. It's kind of cool. I think it's a neat design. And for $38, I don't think you can go wrong with that if it works. So reviews are mixed. They're like maybe 10% or less say they had a problem with that and they returned it. So not sure. I've never looked at the reviews of this shooting chrony. Let's try this out. I'm just going to stand back farther. I think my problem was unburned powder going across the sensors. See if you can see that. I like this is easier to see even outdoors, that display. Or this display, I mean, there's a lot of powder sit this over the years, so that's a little foggy looking. I think you can see the display. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up some more of this mid-level load and we'll see what it runs at. Just further back. Okay, there we go, 750. 850, 6, almost 700. Okay, I think that was the problem. Chrony chronograph is also reading pretty similar results, maybe a slightly lower, you know, in the mid 700s to 800, so 750 to 800 feet per second. There was one oddball in there. It was like 588 or something. Got to look at the super cheap chronograph. It works. $38. I don't think I'd buy another one of these. If I do shoot a hole in it or something, or it stops working, I think I'd go with go ahead. So far, I'm gonna shoot some rifle through this next. World's cheapest chronograph. Has a little rubber feet on the bottom too. It's pretty cool. I like it. I like the fact that there's a wide sensor there too. You know, that really wide sensor versus the chrony chronograph. All right, here we go. Ruger American Ranch. Short little rifle. I think it's a 16-inch barrel on it. Pretty cool. Little small rifle. What I'm going to shoot today is some surplus Yugoslavian. I think that's a 123 grain bullet. Here's one of the bullets. I pulled one out. Full mount jacket. Surplus 1981. Sealed on the primer. Keep the moisture out, I guess. And also, I'm running, I got this as a deer load. Some hand loads. It's a 110 grain bullet with a rubber tip. It's a Hornady, what is it? Hornady CX 100% copper bullet with some it's IMR 4227 I got in here. IMR 4227 and number brass. It is, I think it's a mid-level load of 4227 IMR powder. You know, the total overall length on this cartridge, I think it's maxed out because that rubber tip kind of throws it off. But this is a 308 diameter bullet, and I believe these are 310 diameter, which is still safe to shoot in the Ruger rifle. This is made for, you know, an SKS or AK. They got a little slightly larger bore. They load 310 bullets, 308 bullet. 308 bullets you can get anywhere. And Ruger, the bore diameter is 308. They're made for 308 bullets. So if you're loading for Ruger American, load some 308 bullets. First up, through the world's cheapest chronograph is going to be some of these surplus Yugoslavian. And we'll see how they do. Not sure what they're going to chronograph at. We'll see here. So I can put in my safety gear, my hearing protection and everything. Load one in. I'm back. I'm going to back up some compared to that pistol. Probably like 10 feet away. $22.77. All right. Alright, there you go. Some of that surplus in it. Through the short barrel of this Ruger American, Ruger Ranch. What was it, like 2250, 2350, something like that for most of those. You've seen the numbers. So I'm gonna load up next. Load up some of these 110 grain. I think it might have more velocity or similar, maybe 2300. We'll see, because they're a lighter weight bullet, and it's probably, I usually load to mid-range. One thing I'm seeing a problem right here already. Like I said, these are loaded to the maximum length. So I might have to single load these when I'm deer hunting. I'm probably just going to load one in at a time anyway. Let's see, problem there. Yeah, the tip of the bullet is just hitting the magazine there. So they're not going to load in the magazine very well. Should be interesting. Alright, 2164. Saving that brass. I'll put that in my pocket. Wow, that's pretty good. 2169. Those are very close to each other. I'm going to load a couple more. I'm going to do a single load. Just going to drop it in the chamber. And we're going to have the extractor's going to have to jump that rim. It's closed up real good. No problem. We'll see how it extracts. Here we go. Oh, good. Single load another one. We'll load the last one in. Alright, so the first three were, what, about 2150 or something? And the last couple were different. I don't remember the numbers exactly. There we go. Let's take a look at the primer here. Look at your primers. It doesn't look too bad. It's flattened, but it's not. Doesn't look like overpressure or nothing. So this is woods gun, short range, like under 100 yards probably for deer. And we'll see how this bullet performs. I figure it's going to be similar to, 110 grain bullet. It's a little lighter, but that many feet per second ought to be a good deer cartridge if you keep it under probably 200 yards. There you go, guys. That's a good review of the world's cheapest chronograph. It measured every bullet, I'd say, pretty accurately, since we did a little comparison with the chrony chronograph. And my problem with the power pistol last video was I was too close. I was shooting, just a foot or two away, and I think I'm guessing some of the powder or the flash or some muzzle flash affected the reading. So that was probably it. So just, if you have that problem where it's erratic, just step back another 2 or 3 feet and see. This one didn't seem to be affected by powder at all. I was a foot or maybe 2 feet away from it with the 380. Worked great. Step back about 10 feet for the 7.62, 39, both of them, both loadings. It picked up the numbers consistently. And I think I believe those numbers. That sounds about right. I've got some other, these soft point loads that I killed some hogs with these this past fall. They're loaded down a little lighter, so I didn't blow up too much meat with them. But I think this bullet will do just fine. This 110 grain is going to really be a good hunting round. Looking forward to hunting season. Right now it's the middle of August. Hunting season's going to be around pretty soon here. See the spot right over here in the woods? I had a game camera a couple weeks ago, a month ago. $5. $5. They were all yarded up in this area here, walking around.